Hello there, I'm Mama Jane's husband and this is...
Mama Jane, that's right.
Hello there, and we're currently cruising off South Africa, and yesterday we were lucky to go to Mossel Bay. And how did we get into Mossel Bay?
Right, well, because you can't just dock in Mossel Bay, it's like a small area, we were tendered in. That's where you get on. It's usually the ship's own lifeboats that they use, usually, and off you go. Now that's quite it's not difficult, it's not comfortable, it's quite rough if the sea's rough. So if you're a bit of a dodgy sailor, just be aware that it is not the nicest of journeys on any tender. Can be tricky, but it's well worth. I mean, don't not go, but just be aware.
Just take the tablets.
Take the tablets if you can.
Wear the bands.
Yeah, wear the bands on, things behind your ears, whatever, because it can be a little bit tricky. But yeah, so it was
bit rock and roll.
Bit rock and roll.
Yeah.
More roll than rock. Yeah.
So yeah, we got into it's a very small port, and we got off and into the area. Plenty of people greeting you, a few stalls. So there is an information place. There were free Bibles.
But as the captain said before we left the ship, do not expect, if you're used to doing places like Caribbean, forget it, because it's Europe. Nothing like
cruise port.
A cruise port. It's a port and cruises come in, which is quite a different thing. So don't be expecting razzmatazz. No.
So we then got off the tender, through the port area, and onto our bus, didn't we?
Yeah, lovely bus. Yeah. Excuse me. Nice air conditioning.
Yeah.
Which we needed. Yeah. And off we went. Took us about
45 minutes.
45 minutes to get to. What's the name?
Botleirskop.
Something like that. We'll
put the name up on the video. Botleirskop, I think that's quite a good pronunciation. And saw some of the South African countryside on the way. Once you get out of Mossel Bay, it's quite big. Mossel Bay, I think it's about 200,000 people live in there, and it's a South African seaside resort. So they know how to cater. The seaside knows how to cater for tourists. There's lots of hotels. There's if you're into those zip wires, there's a massive zip wire at the beach area that goes right across the sea. Very, very long for those who are adventurous. The beach is apparently nice, not always safe to swim, so you have to take what local advice there is. And also be aware that in South Africa it's illegal to have any alcohol on any beach. No beach, you're not allowed to take alcohol in any beach whatsoever. So that's national policy. So just be aware of that. And you could see people swimming in the beach area, and in fact people from the ship went and had a good day there. However, we carried on to Botleirskop, and when you arrive, you sign away your life, so that if you get eaten by lions, it's your own fault, even if it's the park's fault. And then what happened? We went into a nice area, didn't we?
It's a beautiful lodge, and we had tea and coffee and water and biscuity things, and you can stay there. It's a residential place, and I would imagine it's quite expensive. I don't know, but it is absolutely a stunning place. But sadly, that's just where we went and picked up our 4x4. Now that is very, very well organised, isn't it? They're all lined up, and they seat, well, varying sizes. The one we were on, if it
20.
would seat 20. Sort of 4 on each bench seat.
So you get clear views all the way around.
Very clear views. Now it does warn you, if you've got any joint problems, back in particular problems, do not go on this. because it is very bumpy, and they are not kidding. It is. I mean, I am no
black and blue.
I am no lightweight.
I'm certainly no lightweight,
as you can see. But we were lifted off the seat on many occasions.
Yeah.
The driver was amazing. They're obviously tracks that they follow. They're all on walkie-talkie contact with other drivers, so they can say where the different animals are. But even so, although the tracks, they are tracks, and they're very steep inclines, and what goes up has to come down. Oh yes, it is bumpy, trust me.
But we had a
fabulous
time. We saw, we first encountered some zebras, and at the same time we encountered some wildebeest. And I'd always thought wildebeest were black, but on occasion you can get a golden wildebeest, and we came across one, which is not common. So that was pretty special, weren't it? But then we came across the King of Africa, a lion.
He was beautiful. You know, sometimes you see them and they're a bit raggedy looking and look a bit shabby. Well, this one had obviously just been and had his hair done, because he was Instagram. If you could have a lion that was Instagram ready, he was that lion, and he stood there knowing how magnificent he was. You know, get my good side. He
even turned to show us.
He was stunning. We were just yards away from him, weren't we?
We were overwhelmed with him.
Yeah.
So that was.
And then he just strolled off. And
then a bit further on, we saw some antelopes, didn't we?
Yeah.
Various types of antelopes. Saw some ostrich, and then what was that tall fella we saw?
Giraffe.
Giraffes. We saw a few giraffes.
Yeah.
Which was pretty special. And we saw another cat as well.
We saw Cheetah.
Very.
Again, just laid, looking like, oh, go on, if I must take my picture.
So we had a fantastic, and we saw all these different animals. We saw a bird of prey, which I'm yet to identify. I've got a fairly good shot of him or her, and I need to try and find out what the bird was. It's beautiful rust colour, and it was soaring all around. It was the most magical creature. I just loved him. So we saw a herd of wildebeest. We saw the whole range really of creatures, and elephants, of course.
Oh, elephants!
How could we forget the elephants? We saw these lovely elephants, and the countryside. You said that even if we hadn't seen any animals, you'd have been overwhelmed with the countryside.
Well, we had gone, and I had said to Mama Jane's husband here, look, don't be disappointed. We may see nothing. This is not a wildlife park. This is real, as in a reserve, real. So don't expect to see anything. And if we see anything, it's a bonus. Yeah. Well, we were bonused out.
We were bonused out.
We were beyond
bonused out.
Yeah, but even if there'd been nothing, it is the most spectacular countryside.
And we have about 2.25 hours.
2.25 hours,
going around, and exceptional, absolutely highly recommended place to go. And then we made our way back to the port, didn't we?
Yeah. We called down in the port. There was a cafe called the Gypse Sea Cafe.
Yes. Just outside the port area. You can either go across the bridge into the little town area, and there's some places to have a look at. And my brother and his wife, they did a hike and went off and saw some beautiful countryside. So there's a planned hike route that you can take from Mossel Bay if you're into hiking and
that way
fit enabled.
Fits in it.
Inclined. Did you get that?
Oh yeah.
And they had a great day. They really had a great day as well.
They did. Yeah.
And we happened to meet at this cafe, and it's a bit hand knitted, this cafe.
It's a huge cafe actually.
Yeah.
There's all different bits to it, and it's quirky. But the food was lovely, and we could see people being served amazing looking food.
Amazing food.
I had this. It was just like a roll of bread, quite a long roll like this of bread, and it was covered in cheese and white wine sauce and garlic. I had absolute dragon breath after it.
And you could have it with mussels, or you could have it with oysters, I think, or shrimps as well. No, you're not a fishy type person, are you?
No, I'm not into chewy mussels.
No, but mussels. So I suspect that if you're into fish, if you have it with the mussels and everything, it is absolutely
I bet it would have been. Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
It was gorgeous. It was.
It was. And you had a cheese toasty with
I had a
chips.
cheese toasty with chips, and the chips came with this sprinkling of what looked like a bit of paprika, and it was nice.
Yeah,
actually.
it was nice.
It was something really different.
Yeah.
So enjoyed that. We could see the bay and the beach area, one of the beach areas. Couldn't see the zip line, but good there. And there was a lot going on in the beach area. It was clearly there was diving training going on, so you could see there was an area that was set aside for people to learn how to dive. There were boat tours on rib boats, leaving and going around the bay and everything. There was further along there was canoeing, kayaking, sorry, and paddle boarding that was set up to go out, and you could walk this from the ship. So you didn't need to go on a tour, I don't think it was, but I think there's plenty to do in there. Like it's set up for tourists because the South Africans have their holidays here. So it seemed a good place.
Oh, and in the just rewinding back, the cafe, I had a glass of house wine, red house wine. It was a huge glass. I don't know how many millilitres it was, but it was big, and it was only house wine. It was 40 rand, which is a couple of quid.
What, £1.50?
Yeah, like that. And I thought, oh, this would be like vinegar. Indeed, it was delicious. Nothing like vinegar.
But you even shared it with me.
It
was so gorgeous. You let me have some of it.
There was so much of it. I thought, well, I can't drink all of it, and not at lunchtime. And it was lovely. And that is indeed the thing with South Africa, isn't it?
Yeah.
The food and everything is so, for us English, is so cheap. Or us British, sorry, Welsh person.
Yeah.
Us British, it's so cheap. Now that's sad because it then means it's very expensive for the South Africans.
But the quality of the food in South Africa is right up there. Absolutely top notch.
Yeah.
It's one of the delights, really.
Yeah.
You could walk a bit further on, but we decided we didn't want to be trying to cram onto the last tender.
No.
So we thought we'd cut our losses. And brother and his wife, they had milkshakes, didn't they?
Oh, they had milkshakes.
Which they said were fabaroni.
Yeah.
They'd also had a pizza somewhere on the way on their hike, and they said that was great. So all in all,
a good day was had by all.
By all in Mossel Bay. So there you are. Yes. So that's it for now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
It's a goodbye from
me.
And it's a goodbye from
him.
Goodbye.
Bye.